Okay, the next din over here in the din of brachas is what happens if you're sitting and eating and then all of a sudden they bring you more food. So you didn't wash for bread. Or even, let's discuss the first case. Somebody made hamotzi, they had a roll in front of them, a bagel or a roll, and they made hamotzi, and all of a sudden they bring him a new piece of bread from somewhere else. They bring him a new piece of bread. And when he ate the first piece of bread, he said, it's going to be enough, this is what I want, or let's say a slice of bread or 2 slices of bread. And he said, okay, this is going to be enough to eat. And then, when he's still in the middle of eating, they bring him another piece of bread. So then, he has to make a new bracha on it. Why? Because he thought, this is what I'm eating. So when he made the bracha of hamotzi, it was only on what he was planning to eat. Now one second. So according to not only that the Magen Avraham, the Alter Rebbe hold, you have to wash again also. Without a bracha though, without a bracha. But you have to wash again because your mind was on this piece of bread. The washing was for this piece of bread, the hamotzi was for this piece of bread. So if you had in mind, Marshall, that you're planning to eat whatever, they're going to bring, then it's fine. Then you don't have to make a new bracha because you had in mind whatever they're going to bring. But if you didn't have in mind, you thought, this is what I'm going to be, this is what?
Is that like a guest?
No. These dinim don't apply to a guest. We're going to learn that din soon. This din applies a guy sitting by himself, okay? And he sat down to eat lunch, right? So let's look in case he's eating bread, yeah? So he washed, he's eating a sandwich, okay? Even while he's still eating the sandwich. But his mind was he's going to eat the sandwich and that's it. And then somebody brings him a pizza, so he says, So now the ameti that he said on the first bread is not going for the pizza because he wasn't in front of him. He didn't have it in mind either. So he'd have to make a new bracha and you have to go make a watch again. Okay, now what happens, one second. What happens though, one second. What happens, you're in your own house, okay, and you took, there was a loaf of rye bread, yeah? And you took 2 slices, and then you changed your mind, then you're going to eat. So even let's say to put away the bread already. It's not anymore on the table. But because it's in your house, when you eat, you know that sometimes they're going to get more hungry. Sometimes they're going to want to eat more. So here we're talking about the first case is somebody's bringing it to you from somewhere else. So then your mind wasn't on it at all. If there's bread in your house, people take, I'll take 1 slice. Oh, you know what? I'll take another slice. So then they wouldn't have to make a new bracha. What?
So, sometimes they have a washing station, they have bread. So if you go there and they finish the bread after you wash, you plan on making the bracha on that basket of bread that they put.
No, the little piece of bread, yeah.
Pieces. The guy in front of you took the last piece, so you have to wash again and then...
No, because your mind was to eat that plus what you're eating at your seat.
Even though you didn't... Okay, because...
No, because when you wash for a banquet, a dinner, a bar mitzvah, wedding, whatever, so I'm going to be eating the meal. You don't want to make a big break from the place where you're washing to the place where you're eating, because there's a din how far it's allowed to be. So they put bread there for the person to make a mitzvah. But l'chatchila, you know that you're going to be eating more.
So I'm saying also if they messed up your order at the restaurant, they give you a different sandwich.
No, but you had in mind, this case is the bread is in front of you. I'm having in mind this is what I'm going to eat. And then they bring you more bread from somewhere else. If somebody brought me a bread, I ordered, let's say you go to the restaurant, you order a tuna sandwich. And then they bring you an egg sandwich. But you're making ameitzi, so you make ameitzi on the egg sandwich.
So in the case of the pizza?
That case, again, the pizza wasn't here. You had in mind, and now they brought pizza from somewhere else. If the pizza was in your house, let's say, then you can assume, I always get hungry. But from somewhere else that's not even there, you never even thought about that. So then the din is you have to make a new bracha. According to the Alter Rebbe and Mishnah Berurah, you'd have to wash again also without a bracha. That's with bread. Now, what happens if somebody, and this is a very practical din, by the way, and people should know what the simple way of getting out of these problems are. What happened next din is like this. You made a bracha on fruit, and then they brought him more fruit. Okay? You took an apple, and then the host, or whatever, not the host, guests are different. Then they take more, they bring him more fruit. Okay? So the din is like this. If when you made the bracha eitz, I had in mind for fruits, whatever, not for this particular apple or pear or whatever. So then, because I had in mind all the fruits that I'm going to eat in this meal, so then the very pure eitz is good. Huh?
For how long?
No, for this meal, for this sitting.
No, I mean, if you say ha'es in the morning, and you have it to announce at everything, it's ha'es.
No, first of all, you're changing places. I'm saying you're sitting now at the same sitting. You can't, you know, you can find a person that will wash Matzah Yom Kippur and bench Erev Yom Kippur. You know what I mean? He'll wash and bench once a year, and Yom Kippur is biblical, you have to fast, but the other times, so you can't do that. So if you're at this same sitting that you're sitting, you should have in mind, we're going to soon learn an interesting din also. You're sitting by Fabrengen. Let's say this is a practical case, yeah? They give you a l'chaim. You make a shahakol on the l'chaim, yeah? Then, and let's say you think, I'm only going to have one l'chaim. And then lady says, no, here's another l'chaim. You really have to make a new bracha, because when you made shahakol on the mashke, what did you think? I'm having only this little cup of whiskey. So the best thing, that's what Shulchan Aruch says, the best thing is, when you ever sit down to eat, you make hametzi, have in mind whatever is going to be there. Whatever ha'etz, whatever is going to be ha'etz in this sitting, and not for the whole day, but just for this particular sitting. Same thing when you make shahakol and mashke, let's say. You should have in mind all the whatever I'm going to drink. It could cover water, it can cover soda, it can cover juice, it can cover beer. But you should have in mind, that's what it says. The best thing is always to have in mind that whatever it's going to be. But otherwise, you know, now what happens if somebody didn't think? He made a ha'etz on fruits, and he didn't think, yeah more, no more, he didn't think anything. So then the din is like this. If when they brought him the new fruit, the old fruit was still there, then he doesn't have to make a new bracha. But if there was nothing left from the new fruit, from the first fruit that he was eating, so then you have to make a new bracha. It's also shay machlekes safek brachas lahakel, but it shows us the complication of it. You have another interesting case. You go to the refrigerator, yeah? Even in your own house, yeah? So let's say there's fruits. So you go in and you take an apple. And then, you make a very pretty on the apple. Now, 20 minutes later, you say, you know what, I'm going to take a peach, nectarine, take some grapes. So now the question is, you have to make a new bracha. So if you only made a bracha on the apple, that's what you had in mind. So what happens if it's not? So the din is like this. If the first fruit was in front of you still, that means you ate 3/4 of the apple. And then you went to get another apple from the refrigerator, so then you don't have to make a new bracha. But if not, then it's a shaila, you have to make a new bracha. So safek brachas lahakol. So therefore again, the point halacha says is, when you make a bracha on fruit or food or whatever it is, so then you have to have in mind everything. Now there's another din. What happens that you're eating something, a fruit, let's say you're eating an apple. You haven't made a very it's an apple. Then they bring you grapes. Now that's already shivas haminim. Or they bring you a fruit that you like much, much better. Okay? Now what happens? So then many poskim hold that because it's more important, you like it better, it's more choshuv, even though you made it have in mind before, you have to make a new bracha. Why? Because you had in mind something on this level. Now that you're eating something which is a bigger level, either you like it better, or fruits or whatever it is, then you have to make a new bracha. The Alter Rebbe says in Siddur that you should make a bracha. No.
No, I'm saying you started like with an eighth.
No, you started with an apple, then you went to get a tomato.
Yeah, like a,
So there's a different bracha.
So totally different.
You have to make a new
I'm
bracha.
just saying one more chashiv than the next.
No, it's a different bracha. Here we're talking about fruits with the same bracha. So if it's more chashiv and you didn't have anything in mind, again, if you had in mind that whatever I'm going to be eating is covered with this bracha, then everything is covered. Now this din that we're saying is what happens, this is basically, I'm going to skip a little bit. What happens if you're a host, a guest in somebody's house? Okay? And let's say they bring you the last course of the meal. And you think, okay, that's it. Okay? So if you, let's say, privately are eating, in your own house, let's say privately you're eating, and then you say, okay, I'm done eating. I'm done. And then you just change your mind and you want to take something else.
Like dessert or what?
I'm saying you didn't, no, whatever it is. I'll give you an example. Even let's say you made up your mind you're not going to eat anymore or drink anymore. And then you want to take a cup of water and you're thirsty, you have to make a shahakal on that water. Because in your mind, you're finished. That means in your mind, all the previous brachas that you made are now done. It's not covering anything anymore. So in your own house, let's say, or if somebody says, I'll give you another example. You're in your own house, or you're sitting with friends, yeah? And you say, you're eating, let's say in yeshiva, you're eating by the table, yeah? Breakfast, lunch, and then whatever. And you say to your friends, okay, let's bench. You say, let's bench. And then somebody says, no, here, eat this. You have to make a new bracha, no matter what it is.
Even though you haven't benched.
But once you say, let's bench,
That's it.
it's done.
You haven't said the bracha.
I understand, but you said, let's bench, it means you verbally said, I'm done eating. That means all the brachas are done.
Can't change your mind.
Now, what happens if you're a guest in somebody's house, and in your mind, the meal's over, that's it, Gamarno. Then the host or hostess brings out another dessert. So then you don't have to make a new bracha. Why not? Because when you're in somebody else's house, you don't know what they're going to do. You might think, but it doesn't matter. So basically, your intention is, whatever they're going to serve me at this meal, that's what I'm counting. I'll tell you where you do have the question. In your own house. Let's say you finished eating, and in your mind you're done. And then the wife says, no, there's one more thing to eat. So the question is, off the record, are you a guest in your own house or not?
At the dinner table?
At the dinner table. So, no, there are many people that want to say, the husband relies on the wife. He thinks maybe it's done already, but probably he's relying on the wife or whoever it is, that they're going to serve more food. So again, most poskim say in that case you have the same thing. It's like a guest, because your mind is whatever she's going to serve, I'm going to eat. So it's a little bit different. It's similar. Yeah.
I was in some place and someone told me that the dessert is not a part of the meal.
It's not.
So when they bring the dessert, you have to say mezonot on it, even though you haven't benched it.
No. Yes. No. Hamotzi covers everything that's eaten to fill you up. It's called l'sadeh b'em apas. It's to accompany the bread. Lafis b'em apas, to accompany the bread. So desserts, let's say fruit, ice cream, things like that, for sure you have to make a bracha. In halacha it says, what about cake? You have to make a bracha on cake at the end of a meal. So in Shulchan Aruch it says as follows. It depends why you're eating it. If you're eating it because you're still hungry, no, this is what it says in halacha. If you're eating it because you're still hungry, so then it's part of the meal. You're eating it to fill you up. If you're not hungry and it's a good cream cake, it's real good, and you're eating it because it tastes good, then halacha says you have to make a new bracha. By Chassidim they did, but that's a separate issue. But I'll explain that. So some people wouldn't do it for a different reason. But what was I about to say? So if it's this, so then Shulchan Aruch also says, Alter Rebbe brings down, If it's possible, bekisnin, if it's like a Danish, that really should be a meitzi, but it's bread and juice, flour and juice instead of water, because there are opinions in halacha that you have to make a meitzi and that anyway. We don't, but the halacha, many poskim hold. So therefore they say that even if you're eating dessert, but it's like a hard dough, not a soft pourable dough, batter. Like, not like the bakery birthday cakes. I'm talking about like a Danish or something like that. Everybody would say you wouldn't make a bracha on it. But Chassidim, many Chassidim would do, because there's a shayla if you're eating it, and Chassidim didn't want to say they ate it for taivas. So a lot of Shabbos especially, they would do this. Before they ate the cake, there are many great people that would bench and then eat the cake. So you're gaining, number one, you're making an extra bracha. And then you take away the argument in halacha if you have to make a new bracha.